Let's go. Welcome. Happy Memorial Day, man. It's Memorial Day, the unofficial first day of summer, which is wild. 2024 is going by really, really quickly. If you're chiming in from YouTube, welcome. If you are joining us via the Truck Profit Academy, welcome. If you're joining us from the Minority Professional Trucking Association, welcome. From wherever you are in the country, in the world, welcome to tonight's session. I just want to say, guys, I really gotta love being with you, to be with you on Memorial Day, Monday. All right, to keep my word on Memorial Day, Monday. So you gotta know I have love for you, okay? And tonight's conversation is going to be a demonstration of that, to where you're going to get tremendous value in terms of systems and trucking. Really, the systems want to deliver increased profitability for you. They want to deliver increased cash flow for you. They want to deliver more wealth for you at the end of the day. They want to deliver more ease and peace of mind for you around the way your business works and the way compliance works inside of what you're up to in the trucking industry. So it's a great conversation to begin. This is going to be the first in a series of conversations that we're going to talk about this. And it's a missing. All right, a lot of trucking companies, especially it's almost 97% of the industry is made up of what we call small carriers. Small carriers. Now, what are small carriers? They're considered to be trucking companies that have less than 100 trucks on the fleet. So most of the industry is made up of you guys that have less than 100 trucks on the fleet. And even the majority of that has less than 10. So I believe it's like 94, 95% of the industry has less than 10 trucks on a fleet in terms of the carrier market, okay? And when I look at the carrier market, and I'm getting ahead of myself in this conversation, but when I look at the carrier market, I see this is one of the things that are really missing, and it's going to be a really great conversation to be inside of today, is what I want to say. Let's see. I'm going to make you an admin. Miss Jennifer Bulgin, good to see you. All right, guys, let's get into it tonight. If you didn't know, now you know. My name is Cheston Bulgin with By the Books Consulting. That is our company, that is our firm. I'm the founder, CFO, and senior consultant here at By the Books Consulting. You can reach us at 888-4BTB now. That's 888-428-2669. You can reach us on the web at bythebooksconsultants.com or youraccountingsuperhero.com. And this is my direct email, Cheston at bythebooksconsultants.com. You can always reach out to me here. All right, don't abuse that. You reach out to me for something real. All right, but we handle all things related with you making more and keeping more money in the accounting, tax, business systems. These are the business advisory. These are the areas that we impact you the most. We help you the most. All right, so we are specialized in accounting and tax strategies. Right, and then the systems that you put together in order to get real good business analytics, we make sure that those are tight for you as well. All right, so that's what we do. Okay, now with that being said, we have a new group that's growing every week. Welcome. If you're from this group, the Truck Profit Academy, it's always good to have you on the call live here in the Zoom call. But it's also great to have you wherever you're chiming in from the internet, like if you're watching on YouTube or some other channel. It's great to have you. So if you're not a part of this community yet, you want to get inside of this community. We want you to have all the resources. You get access to information like this, okay? You can also schedule calls with me through that platform, or somebody on our team through that platform. If you have things that you want to move forward in your business and you're serious about moving things forward in your business, you can always get on a call to do a profit and cash flow analysis inside that group. But if you want to be a part of this group, right now it's free. All right. I don't know if that's going to be the case always, but right now it's free to be a member of the Truck Profit Academy. And you can join the Truck Profit Academy by going to www.truckprofitacademy.com. Okay. And joining the Truck Profit Academy. And basically, by being a part of this community, you'll get access to moving your trucking company forward. When I say that, it means what we're talking about here in this conversation is increased profitability, increased cash flow, ease and clarity inside of your business. So you can have systems that work for you. It doesn't have to be chaotic. It doesn't have to be a mystery. You can make choices to make sure your business, your trucking company, gives you exactly what you want out of it. Okay? And that's what that's about. And we're going to talk about some of the principles in there when it comes to being profitable in trucking tonight, which is really a big deal. And before we get into that, here's a quick disclaimer. The following is for educational purposes only. It is not to be considered financial, accounting, and or legal advice. Please consult your tax, accounting, and or legal professional for specific advice. So now that that's done, all right, so this is the TPA systems blueprint. Okay, this is what we're talking about today. This is one of the fundamental aspects of running your trucking companies, to have the systems in place to do that. Dude, I'm on a trucking company. I run a trucking company, and sometimes it can be a sleepless thing or a restless thing or something that is stressful, like constantly on your mind. You're constantly doing things to make sure the trucking company is moving forward and doing everything that it's intended to do, right? Fulfilling all the promises. You know, you're delivering your freight. If you're an owner operator, I've been there, being an owner operator and delivering freight, right? And making sure that loads are picked up on time, they're delivered on time, and along the way, the customers, the brokers know exactly where you are, and making sure if you have your fleet of drivers that they are doing what they need to do as well. They're maintaining a level of compliance. They are taking care of the equipment. They're abiding by the HOS laws. Their logs are complete. They're going to the right fuel stops, right? And it goes down the line. There's just so many more things that go along with that, right? So if you're in this conversation and you've been there, you know that there's a lot of moving parts to the trucking industry when you're a carrier, and you want to make sure that you are working your business. You didn't get into this business to do poorly. You got into this business to succeed and do great, right? Do really, really well. And it takes having systems in place to do it well, so you can eliminate those headaches, right? And not have to be up at 2 a.m. With brokers calling you if you don't have to be, right? On where the loads are, and doing check calls for other drivers when you're trying to get your rest, if you're out there on the road as an owner operator. And even if you're somebody who's a dispatcher, or you have dispatchers in your company, to make their processes really easy, simple, right? So that they can do more with less effort. You can actually have a scalability to your fleet, right? Without all the extras that come with being disjointed in the fleet, right? You want to have really good systems in play, right? You want to have those in place. And the systems blueprint is really a great tool and understanding to help you create those systems in your trucking company so that you can have ease and fluidity in the business. You know that things are moving forward in each area, in each component of your business, and you don't have to continually stress out about these things. You just know that it works. Okay. I've seen it at all levels. When people get started in the industry, and then when people are doing really, really well, they've been in the business for a while and they're generating millions and millions of dollars, and still they have antiquated systems that cause bottlenecks. Case in point, I've worked with somebody, and we come to find out that they had an administrative bottleneck in their company that was causing them to lose 35% of revenue while they were still producing that revenue. So basically what happened was they were doing jobs and they didn't have the capacity to bill out jobs, right, to 100% of what they were doing. So they would do jobs and they would bill out 35% of the jobs they would bill out 65% of the jobs they were doing, and there was a 35% understatement of what they were actually making in the business. So get this, you're paying for all the things that you're doing. You're going out here and you're producing the loads, you're dropping off loads, and then you don't even create the invoices to bill out for your loads. So it's like people get 35% of your customers get work for free, right? And that's not cool, right? You want to make sure that you have all of your systems tight so that you can optimize your company to get 100% of the revenue that you bring in, build out to your customers so that you can get that money coming in. And the cash flow is healthy. You're profitable, more profitable than what it's actually stating. And at the end of the day, you're just happy with the results of your company. Okay. It doesn't have to be that way. You can go to work, you can focus in and lean on a system. All right. So where does that begin? Well, the first part of this we're going to talk about in our conversation. When it comes to tech stack, there are a few things that we look like. Like this is number one. The first conversation is about tech stack. What is a tech stack? A tech stack is basically the technology that you're going to deploy in your company to help you run your company systematically. All right. So the technologies are what we're going to lean on, what we're going to use to manage and run your company systematically. All right. Now, I've seen people, they still on paper, right? Like, which is a technology, by the way. Their tech stack just happens to be paper instead of the modern technology that we use today, like computers, right? And so they're still using handwritten papers to invoice and write out and actually pay their bills, like the handwritten checks and everything, right? And all this paperwork that they keep. And because of that, there are problems. There are problems of scalability. There are problems of organization. They may have a really good system with paperwork. Some people do. Some people have really good filing systems with paper, right? And it's not that that's wrong per se. It is, however, limiting in terms of the amount that you're able to do. In today's world, it is so competitive, super competitive in the trucking industry. There's so many carriers out here. There's so many people that do what you do. And if you have a system in place that gives you the edge of speed, efficiency, accuracy, you're on time, you're compliant, your CSA scores are fantastic, your drivers are managed properly, and they know consistently and reliably that you're going to deliver, you're going to have an edge. Okay? When you're out here, you make it look easy as compared to your competitors, you are going to have an edge. In this economy, in this market, you will need every single edge that's available. Okay, so if you're in this conversation today, you're in the right place because you're getting the edge for yourself, for your company, for your family, for your legacy. Today is the day where you're going to get that edge. Okay, so tech stack. Number one tech stack, part of the technology that we want to use is trucking management software, TMS. Trucking management system, trucking management software. We want to have this technology in place so that you can run and manage your fleet easy and efficiently. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit today. As a matter of fact, most of this conversation is going to be dedicated to the trucking management software, and we're going to go over more inside of the tech stack throughout the next series of calls. And this is what we're going to actually talk about through the next series of calls in terms of the number one part of this blueprint is tech stack. The number two thing inside of tech stack is financial tracking software. And we have your ELD. All right, so most of you in this conversation will definitely have an ELD, electronic logging device. All right, just to be clear. All right, so load boards. Most people in this conversation deal with load boards. We know that. Integration tools. So what are integration tools? Oh, these are tools that allow us to have different softwares, different applications come together, or different systems come together so that it becomes one complete system. So integration tools. And internal and external communication channels. Okay, so when we get into the full systems blueprint, guys, we'll talk about all the components of it. It's not just tech stack, right? We get into teams. We get into financial aspects of it. We get into safety and compliance, right? We get into all of those things in terms of the systems blueprint, the TPA systems blueprint, okay? Today we're in a conversation about tech stack, and we're going to be in this conversation for a little while. It is important to be here and have these technologies in place so that you make it easy for yourself in your business. When you get this foundation of the right technology where you can see everything in one place, bring it all together, and communicate with your team, it makes it a whole lot easier. You don't need a whole lot of people, right? You can reduce the cost of staffing by far, right? You don't have to have as much staff on hand, and you can do a lot more with one person when you have the right technology in place, okay? So today, we're going to talk a little bit about TMS, okay? And so if you see this slide here, there are a lot of icons here, a lot of logos here, and logos here represent different types of technology that we use inside of the trucking industry. Some of these are financial related, like you see QuickBooks here, you see Xero here, you see Sage here. These are financial tracking and recording technologies, and they're important. All right, they are not the same as a TMS, although the trucking management software, the TMS, will track some financial aspects of your business, all right, of your trucking company. It will not track everything financially. I love the combination of having financial tracking software in conjunction with the trucking manager software, because then you really get the full picture. One, from an operational perspective in the TMS, and number two, from a financial perspective, to really get great key KPIs. We started talking about KPIs last week. Get great key performance indicators financially to determine like what's working in terms of financial health, what's not working in terms of financial health, and you have clear actions from there. All right, but if you look at this, these are different types of technologies, and a lot of these are trucking management software related. Now, what are like Axon TMS? That's trucking management software. ITS Dispatch, we see that there. That's trucking management software. Camion is no longer Camion. It's called Carrier TMS, but that is a trucking management software. TruckLogic's fantastic tool for beginners as a trucking management software. Trucking Office has been around for a long time. And there are a lot more, guys. And in the conversation we're going to have throughout this year, we have people coming in and we're going to talk about different technologies like this that could help you leverage your trucking company. All right, so you can do more with less. All right, so I keep saying doing more with less. But this is the concept. This is the important concept that we want to deliver in this conversation. How can you, as a fleet owner, do more with less effort? It's going to be inside of this technological gap that wants to be bridged. Now, I don't know how many of you in this conversation tonight have a really good trucking management software in place. Most of the larger companies do, okay, and some don't. But what does that make available to you in terms of the benefit of a trucking management software? So let me just talk to you a little bit. All right, I'm going to bring this down and talk to you a little bit. Stop my share. I'm just going to be with you here in the conversation a little bit. And, you don't know until you know. All right, you don't know until you know. One of the things that you really want to know is that doing more with less inside of a trucking management software means that, well, you can onboard your equipment, you can onboard your drivers, you can onboard your ELDs, you can have your load planning and load boards and dispatch and everything else that's operation related go through your trucking management software. So you can see, well, not only how many loads have been dispatched, but where they are in the process, right? You can see that through trucking management software. You can communicate to your team through a good trucking management software. They can send a bill of lading back and forth through an app with a good trucking management software. But then when things are coming up for expiration in terms of compliance regulations, like if somebody's CDL is going to expire, if their medical card is going to expire, or whatever, if there's an inspection up for a piece of equipment, or if it's gone so many miles between PM services, then your trucking management software will pull all that together so you can see it. And it won't ever be a mystery. It'll be completely organized for you to know when things are happening before they happen. Now, the big deal is to be able to see exactly how many loads are being dropped. It streamlines the paperwork process, so you can upload all of the bill of ladings, and you can have all of the invoices submitted very fast, very quickly, with just a few clicks of a button. This really eliminates a lot of the bottleneck processes that I've seen in so many companies, because they'll spend a lot of time in the invoicing process. They'll like sending invoices to factoring companies or sending invoices to their customers. not knowing where things go. But when you have this system in place, it just really is a simple click of the button once that system is structured, once you have that foundated inside of your business. So much goes along with that, guys. You can see efficiency of the fleet in one place, especially if you have an ELD attached or brought into that integration of your trucking management software, because it gives you telemetrics, which means you can see, well, the miles per gallon, what's that doing? The hard braking, the safety and compliance. Well, how well are your drivers performing from an efficiency standpoint? Who's been on time, right? How much each driver has been making you, like how many loads per week they're getting in, actually. Like you can see their driving performance. You can see how well they have been maintaining their compliance over time. Or you can even issue bonuses based off of what we see there in the system, right? We can track them when they get to a certain point in terms of volume, load-wise, and or safe mileage, where we can implement bonuses, and it can be tracked all the way simply and easily. That's, people ask me how to hire and retain good drivers, and one of the things is, in terms of retention, is to make sure that you have really great systems in place and they feel as though they're not a number, but they're taken care of. And we make it as easy as possible for them to do the job that they do, right? Now, having a great TMS will allow you to do that. It's in terms of great communication, dispatch the loads, any type of communication can go back and forth between you and that technology from the driver's end to the company end to the dispatcher end. And it's really, really a great tool to use to manage your fleet. It saves a lot of time, and it definitely eliminates a lot of headaches and confusion. Now, from a basic standpoint, so let's just talk about this. From a basic standpoint, we want to talk about what a TMS really does. We talk about fleet management, okay? So in terms of fleet management, there are a few things we're looking at in terms of like what you can do with a TMS that you may already be doing disjointedly, right? When I say disjointedly, you're doing it like you're in one place and come to another place, and then you have to call the broker, and then you have to call your driver or text your driver, call your driver and find out what's going on, call your dispatcher, text your dispatcher, email your dispatcher, find out what's going on, when everything can be communicated in one place in terms of fleet management. Even throughout the onboarding process, when you hire people and when you hire drivers, you bring them on, there's an onboarding process that can be really done effectively inside of your TMS, so you can track everything about that driver from the jump, what their driver record is, the MVR report. We can attach those documents. When is it that their CDL expires and their CDL number, you keep that on record. Their medical card, we can have that attached to their file, and their pay, whatever we're going to pay them, all that gets uploaded, so you don't have to think about it. Come the end of the week, you already see what loads they've done based on what you already set them up with in the beginning of the system, and then boom, and you click a button and their settlements just go out. They get paid what they need to get paid. And it really becomes a simple, easy process. So fleet management. So we talk about fleet management, we talk about driver management, we talk about equipment. We talk about dispatchers, their communication tools, dispatchers. And we talk about load planning. And there's a few more things, okay? But these are these are fundamentals, okay? Talking about driver management, equipment management, dispatchers, and load planning. And then we can even talk about settlements and pay. We'll put that there, settlements. What I want to put here instead, because this is settlements and pay really are inside of financial. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put here, instead of settlements and pay, I'm going to put Yeah, this is going to be maintenance. Okay, maintenance. All right, so those are the main things that we do here in fleet management from a TMS perspective. This simplifies that process, streamlines that process, so you don't have to really think about a whole lot. You don't have to bolt things together and go all over the place. It can be in one system, one place. When things come up, there are alerts and reminders. And even well before you need to do these things, you can already go ahead and take care of those. Okay. And the great thing about it is when we talk about teams in terms of systems, your team can be trained on each component, so you can have separate divisions inside the trucking management software to be able to have somebody responsible for that one specific area when they're a part of your team. Okay. Now, even from the financial and accounting perspective, is that consistent, guys? Excuse my typing. My typing is not the best. All right. Now, let's talk about finance and accounting. All right, finance and accounting through trucking management software really deals with you being able to invoice your clients, invoice your brokers, invoice your customers, right, or send them to a factoring company, right, and track the payments of those. Okay, and on the other end, you're also able to pay your drivers, pay your owner operators, at least keep really good track of it inside the trucking management software. Right, you don't have to sit there and wonder anymore. Everything is automatic based on the driver setup or the owner operator setup, and then how many loads they are doing or they're dropping off during the week, how much they're performing during the week. Okay, or if they're paid by a flat rate, how many hours they do, and everything else, and if they have any deductions that can be handled as well. Okay, but it's really good to have this finance and accounting structure set up inside of your trucking management software. So, two things, right? We have invoicing, like accounts receivable, and then we have driver and owner operator settlements. Now, I know that there's a lot, like headaches that go along with this process for a lot of people that I talk with, like keeping up and keeping track and then making sure everybody's paid. Wouldn't you rather be focused on, well, how are you going to grow your business? Rather than devoting energy, attention, and time to making sure that, well, there's a system in place to pay your guys, or dealing with the headaches of lack of transparency, or drivers complaining about, no, I didn't get paid this. Something's off about my pay. And you having to figure out exactly what it is that's off, to just to find out that you were right to begin with, and just waste so much time, right? But if you did this, if you had this system in place, you wouldn't have to worry about it. I've seen it also inside of companies where they don't have these systems in place. They'll do loads, and then loads will be sitting there outside of a system like that, and they have been unbilled, right? They have not been sent in terms of an invoice. Invoice has not been sent for the load that has been dropped. Man, I don't know about you, but I'd like to collect money for the things we do. Right? But that happens when you get to a certain size. Even if you're like a small fleet, it happens. Like a fleet of 5 trucks, pretty small fleet. But even in a case like that, I've seen it where people will miss loads. Like you're dropping off, each truck is dropping off 2 to 3 loads, possibly more a week, right? And that's in between the 5 trucks. That could be somewhere between 15 and 20 loads in a week. Now, if you're manning that by yourself, and a lot of you are, and you're still maintaining a good amount of revenue in terms of the company, but you're not realizing that revenue because things get lost in the mix, right? And those are the things that you want to tighten up inside of your business to make sure you are a well-oiled machine. Nothing falls through the cracks, okay? That's the idea. Nothing falls through the cracks. Now, when you have a technology like this, it does help a lot. It'll increase it, typically somewhere between 70% and 80% improved efficiency. And what if you were able to improve your efficiency that way by just implementing this technology? It's possible, okay? Now, this part of the conversation, guys, I'm not going to go too much longer in this. I wanted to stop here because I didn't want to give you too much in this conversation, but I want to leave you with this. I want to leave with this concept, okay? If you don't have this system put in place, if you haven't put together a trucking management software, even if you don't know exactly what kind to put together, like if you're running old school and you're all over the place, or even if you have a trucking management software that you have the technology, paying for the technology, but you're just not implementing it and using it to its fullest capacity, I invite you to get on a call. All right, schedule a call to let one of my guys, let either me or somebody else on our team look it over to see if you're optimized this out of your trucking management software to make sure that you're getting everything out of your trucking company. Okay, so that you're not running around here like a chicken with your head cut off, worried about all kinds of things in your business when you could have a well-oiled machine do this process for you to a large degree. That's what I want to say. Guys, I'm hoping you got value from this conversation. It is Memorial Day, man, 7:30. We're ending this call right now. Right now, okay? But if you're in this conversation, I mean, really kudos to you. Give it up for yourself for taking the time to be here in this conversation, because a lot of people aren't, and a lot of people won't get this, and you do. You have this, and I want you to make sure you take this and run with it, use it in your business to deliver that next level result. Peace, ease, clarity, more profitability, all right, in your company. That's what I want for you. All right, guys, have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.